Hey, I'm live. Fantastic. Nice to see you. Hi, it's Dave Crane. Um, I was listening to radio this morning. It's not often I listen to the radio, but I was listening and I heard a great Chris Fade show. And I was hearing that Samsung have brought out a brand new virtual reality experience of being a public speaker to help people to overcome their fear of being a public speaker, which I find fascinating because I'm not sure how it works. I think it must put you in front of an audience and get you just to sort of experience what it'd be like to see an audience live in front of you without actually having to do the whole experience of talking to people. But I'd love to see how it works out, because the thing is, I train people how to do public speaking, as you probably know by now, but there's so many elements involved in working a live audience. Most of all is the feedback loop between you and the audience. The way you react, the way you hold yourself, the way you speak, the tone of voice, the way that you gauge the room, the levels of how you use your microphone, the craft of being able to position yourself, how you stand, the energy that's to and fro, the actual content, the materials you put together, the mood of the audience when you arrive, the way that you're brought onto the stage, the actual way that when you're actually broadcasting and talking to the audience, the levels of energy go up and down. You've got to ride it all the way through and listen to the feedback loop to make sure that everything you say resonates with them, because at the same time they might find things that they don't like and you've got to go back and step them up again. And if you're emceeing and holding an event together, then you've got to make sure that not only is it the stuff that you say that's relevant, but you've got to babysit the things that everyone else is saying to make sure you bring them back on track again and the audience stays at their optimum. But sometimes you can drop them down and bring up again and take them even higher, depending on how the product all comes together and how the relationship with the audience goes. And so I'd love to see how that all comes together. If you're interested in this, by the way, and I had experience yesterday, if you check out my posts at the Juice Plus launch yesterday for UAE, which is fascinating, really good. At 5 hours with some great speakers, looking after about 1,500 people. You see all the videos and stuff from there. Then I can help you. I do a lot of training with people to share them, show them basically how to become public speakers. And there's a lot of elements in it. And one of the things that I believe is you can only really test it in the moment. You've got to be there in front of an audience, realizing that one of the most important things is to not put on airs and graces and use a script or the rest of it. The key to being a good public speaker, or even a great public speaker, is being you. Taking away every single trick that's there and just going back to being you, being grounded. Because here's the thing, if you pretend to be somebody else, then as you're putting on this acting role of being somebody else, you can't think quite as you. There's a little gap, a little interrupt of you going, right, what should I say if I'm trying to be this cool person? Forget all that, be you. Now, one of the things is, nowadays, everybody's got a voice, but a lot of people are scared to use it. Something like 90% of people are scared to talk in public, which is a great advantage for you, because the things you need to be able to be a speaker, to be able to make your career work. In terms of how it affects you, I reckon somewhere around about 150% of your earnings in your lifetime can be improved. Seriously, you get 150% of your earnings by being a great public speaker, because it increments your ability to get noticed, your ability to talk, your ability to be the person that gets pushed forward as a spokesperson. And if you notice, of course, you get promoted, and that's not even being a proper public speaker. So all these things come together. So when you're actually doing it, I think the key to it, and hello to Naya, good to see you. Thanks for the post for the hedgehog yesterday, by the way. The key to it is being able to be you. To get rid of all the other things that are there and just be the natural you. Now, there might be you with a lisp. It might be you that looks kind of nervous. It might be you that's too tall, too thin, too short. The thing is, it doesn't matter anymore. There's a big wide world where everybody finds their voice, but people want you to be authentic. They can tell when you're faking it. You can tell now when a politician is lying to you. I mean, let's face it. The whole thing about the presidential elections recently, with Donald Trump getting in, was he was quite authentic with the audience. He told them what they wanted to hear, but at no point do you think he's doing anything but saying what he's thinking. Okay, we can talk about he's racking a shotgun and saying things to wind up the audience and so on, but if you can be the real you, the authentic you, then you get to think as you, and you get to react to the audience in the same way. Okay? So you get to also answer questions. You're also able to think about things in a different way than you would normally do if you're thinking, oh, I've got a checklist of stuff to work through. Now, I've got a load of friends like Mike Tolan. He's a great public speaker as well. I've seen him acting on stage. I've seen him presenting, doing some amazing things with the audience. But at no point is he being anything but 100% authentic. So if you're thinking it's not the real you or it's not a good enough you, trust me, it is. The rest of it can be done with a little bit of polish, a few tricks, and the ability to get the very best out of the real you. But that's what audiences truly want. They want to go up on stage and see how you are and understand where you're coming from. Because then you can answer anything, you can do anything, and from that point on, you're on that way to becoming a great public speaker. Now, I'm happy to help you with all that. Please contact me. The contact details are everywhere. I'll put them on this post anyway. But this is a year where you're going to find your voice on the internet, your voice in social media, and if you can, make your voice on stage. I'm not saying you need to go out and host a Rugby Sevens. I'm not saying you have to go out and do big conferences or even anything like that. But what you do need to do is find a more authentic version of you that's able to just present yourself to a small group. Most people get worried when it's over 15 people. But there's actually no real difference apart from a change in energy and a change in focus when you get over 5 people. When you're talking to a group of people, it doesn't make any real difference as long as you're prepared to realize that it's not so intimate, but you still talk to them as though you're talking to one person, but there's a lot of them in the room. Does that make sense? Or maybe we should spend more time together working on that. Well, I've got a client coming now. We're going to do some speaker training, and you can't join in on that, but maybe you can contact me separately. Have an amazing day. I'd love your thoughts on public speaking. What worries you? If you've got any questions on it, I'll answer them straight away. Maybe do a new video for you. And just type them in the credits bit or in the comments bit, and I'll let you know what my thoughts are. Okay? Have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. I've got my glasses on so I can read stuff. And nobody said anything apart from, "Hi, Dave. That's a big nose you've got." Thanks, Mum. Bye.